A lion can kill a hyena in under 10 seconds. It has the strength, the speed, the teeth, so why doesn't it just eat it? Here's the thing that should be blowing your mind right now. Every predator in the animal kingdom is surrounded by food it could technically kill, but almost never touches. Lions ignore hyenas. Wolves ignore foxes. Sharks swim right past smaller sharks. It's like they've all signed some invisible contract, but they haven't. What's actually going on is a brutal, calculated survival math that most people never think about. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why breaking that rule can get a predator killed and the terrifying exceptions where predators break it anyway. Let's get into it. Here's a fact that changes everything. In nature, hunting isn't about hunger, it's about profit. Every single predator is running a constant calculation. How much energy will this cost me versus how much energy will I get back? Sounds cold, but it's the difference between eating tonight and dying next week. Now picture a lion staring at two targets. On the left, a zebra. No claws, no fangs, no fighting instinct. Its entire survival strategy is run and hope. On the right, a hyena. Bone-crushing jaws, pack backup, and it knows how to fight back. If the lion goes for the zebra, worst case scenario, it misses lunch. If it goes for the hyena, worst case scenario, it comes back with a shattered jaw, a torn leg, or worse, an injury it'll never fully recover from. So the lion does the math without even thinking about it. Low risk, guaranteed reward, that's the zebra. High risk, uncertain reward, that's the hyena. Every predator on Earth runs this same equation. And that's rule number one. And this isn't just a lion thing. Watch a pack of wolves in the mountains of North America, and you'll see the exact same pattern. Wolves will happily take down an elk twice their size, working together, using teamwork to bring down something massive. But put a coyote in front of them, and something strange happens. Instead of an easy kill, the wolves chase the coyote off, or worse, kill it purely to remove it from the territory and barely touch the body. Why go through all that effort for a meal that isn't even the goal? The goal was never food. It was getting rid of a rival. Here's where it gets darker, because the real reason predators avoid each other isn't the fight itself. It's what happens after. If you get injured, you go to a hospital. You get stitches, antibiotics, a cast. A predator gets none of that. A broken leg in the wild isn't an inconvenience. It's a slow, guaranteed death sentence. No hunting means no food. No food means starvation. And an open wound in the wild almost always means infection. So think about it from the predator's side. One bad fight could end a life that would have otherwise lasted another 10 years. Would you risk everything for one meal? That's why even the most powerful predators on the planet, lions, tigers, wolves, go out of their way to avoid a fight before it starts. A growl, a raised hackle, a scent mark on a tree. All of it exists for one reason, so nobody actually has to throw a punch. This is actually why so many predators have evolved such dramatic, over-the-top warning displays. Think about it. A wolf doesn't just quietly decide to avoid a fight. It puffs up its fur to look bigger, bares its teeth, and lowers its body into a stance that screams, "Don't try me." Tiger doesn't sneak away from another tiger's territory. It roars loud enough to be heard for miles, marks trees with scent that can last for weeks, and leaves claw marks high up on tree trunks just to exaggerate its size. None of this is about looking impressive for the sake of it. It's advertising. It's a predator saying, "The cost of fighting me is higher than you think," without either side ever having to throw a single hit. In a strange way, the loudest, most dramatic animals in the wild are often the ones avoiding violence the hardest. There's actually a name scientists use for this entire system. It's called the cost of injury principle, and it shows up again and again across nature documentaries and field studies. Researchers who track lions in the Serengeti have recorded, over and over, that lions with old injuries from past fights, even fights they technically won, had dramatically shorter lifespans than lions who avoided conflict altogether. Winning a fight against another predator can still be a loss in the long run. That single fact rewires the entire logic of the jungle. Survival isn't about being the strongest in a single moment. It's about staying strong for years. Here's something almost nobody talks about. Even if a predator did win that fight, the meal wouldn't even be that great. Herbivores like deer, zebra, and antelope are basically walking energy stores. Thick fat layers, packed calories, built by a body designed to convert plants into stored fuel. A predator's body is the opposite. Lean, muscular, constantly burning energy just to survive its own lifestyle. So even the reward side of the equation is weaker. Less fat, fewer calories. All that risk for a worse meal than the one right next to it. At this point, the math isn't even close. Nature doesn't do things just because. Every choice a predator makes is ruthlessly efficient. And then killing another predator almost never adds up. Now, don't mistake this for peace. Predators avoiding each other doesn't mean they like each other. It means they're too busy hating each other over something else. Food. In the African savanna, lions, hyenas, and leopards are all chasing the exact same prey. So when they cross paths, it's rarely about eating each other. It's about stealing. A leopard drags its kill up a tree specifically to keep lions and hyenas from taking it. Hyena clans will mob a lone lion just to steal its kill, not to eat the lion itself. Scientists have a name for this: Intraguild Competition. Rivalry between predators fighting over the same resources. And it's not just happening on land. In the ocean, killer whales and great white sharks are locked in the exact same kind of standoff. In parts of the Pacific coastline, when orcas move into an area, great white sharks vanish almost overnight, sometimes for an entire season, not because the orcas are hunting them for food in most cases, but because sharks recognize the risk and simply choose not to compete. Even one of the ocean's most feared predators knows when to back down. And sometimes this rivalry escalates into something deadly, because sometimes predators do kill each other, and sometimes they eat each other too. This is called Intraguild Predation, and it's one of nature's darkest secrets. Lions will hunt down and kill hyena cubs, not for food, but to wipe out future competition before it grows up. Leopards do the exact same thing to cheetah cubs, and when a drought hits or prey disappears, and starvation becomes the only alternative, all bets are off. Predators will turn on each other without hesitation. Size is the other trigger. When the power gap is massive, like a great white shark hunting a much smaller shark, the risk practically disappears, and the rule stops applying entirely. There's an even stranger twist to all of this. Sometimes predators don't just kill rivals from other species. They turn on their own kind too. Polar bears? During the harshest winters, when sea ice vanishes and seals become impossible to find, have been documented killing and eating other polar bears, including cubs. It's rare and it's brutal, but it proves something important. Every single one of these unwritten rules, avoiding rivals, avoiding injury, avoiding low-value meals, exists for one reason only: survival. And the moment survival is threatened enough, every rule on this list becomes negotiable. So this isn't some sacred law of the jungle. It's a pattern that holds until it doesn't. So let's go back to that lion and that hyena from the start of this video. It's not mercy keeping them apart. It's not friendship. It's a cold, constant calculation running in the background of every predator's brain. Risk versus reward. Life versus death. Happening every single time two hunters cross paths. And the moment that calculation changes, when hunger takes over, when competition gets desperate, when the odds finally tip, that invisible rule vanishes instantly, and the jungle shows you exactly how ruthless it really is. If this blew your mind even a little, smash that like button. Subscribe for more videos like this, and tell me in the comments, which predator should we expose next? See you in the next one.